Great. Let's talk a little bit about jobs. You have made this a centerpiece of your campaign. What do you think we can do to bring more jobs here to Montgomery County?
You know, we are an area of institutions. There's certainly jobs in government. Yeah, we need to be an area for business too. We need to attract large businesses. I mean, some companies have looked at our area and have gone away from it. And I really want to talk about, or at least push towards, an economic development. I know Montgomery County, unfortunately, now has a reputation for being tax high, or the state of Maryland being tax high. And I don't know why that's the case, and we can blame it on Democrats, but the Republicans have caused these problems too, let's be honest with that. Yeah, we need to look and try to attract major companies. Also, there's an idea I've had recently. Where I was in a meeting with the unions, and I realized, or even learned at the moment, that Montgomery County has an office in Annapolis. A couple people work at it. They actually, Montgomery County as a county, as an entity, rents space in Annapolis for some of its functions. And a lot of businesses invest in either K Street or some of Capitol Hill. Businesses can invest in Montgomery County too. They can have companies from far away can have their little offices here, satellite offices, executive suites, places where people live. They can be here. We can work with the Marriott. We can work with some of the hotels and grow this little cluster. They're flying into Washington all the time now. And we need to get large national companies to actually invest into little places in Montgomery County. I mean, maybe some of them would only have 5 to 25 people working at them, but through enough of those, I think it would really grow our local tax base and actually our base of businesses. It'd be nice to have a lot of these offices. I mean, Hollywood, I'm a movie writer, a book writer. Hollywood needs to have some offices here. Bring them in. Let's bring people in here. I think having a little bit of a footprint towards that, I think, would really work, and make them trust us for later development. I think it would work for us.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about some other issues. These are from your website. You are critical of the license plate that that Maryland is putting forth. Tell me about that.
Well, my website, you've mentioned it a couple times, is votevovak.com. That's V as in Victor O, V as in Victor AK.com. Or Build Montgomery. I also had that as a website.com, buildmontgomery.com. And I don't believe that we should be pushing war. I mean, we're a warring country, I guess, and we have a large military, which I'm proud of, our military, especially our Navy in Maryland. Yet I believe that our license plate, that just in the middle of it says War of 1812. We don't need to glamorize the War of 1812. We love the Star-Spangled Banner that was written here, and that should have been in the middle. If we want to talk about music and we want to talk about our national anthem, then we should have promoted the national anthem. But there was no connection with that war, and I don't want that on my license plate either, especially with the cost of it. It's just wrong. You know, it used to be that the Republicans wanted the war, and I think a lot of people voted for the Democrats, believing that they would get us out of the war, and instead they increased the war. We don't need war. What are we going to have, like the War of 1812? What are next? The Vietnam War is going to be on the license plate, and the Korean War, and the Iraq War. I mean, we don't need war in Maryland.
Now, I must mention this, that there was a June 28, 2009 Washington Post article that listed you as a power player.
Yes.
And among the names that were listed along with you were Barack Obama, Sarah Palin, Ronald Reagan, and some others. Joe the Plumber was mentioned. How surprised were you to find your name on that list?
I wasn't interviewed for it. And it was the Washington Post magazine in the center of the magazine. And it was the cover story, and inside it was the main photograph. And here I was third. I'm not fond of Sarah Palin myself, at least as a candidate. She's a nice model for the Republicans, but not as a candidate. Yet I was right there. I couldn't believe it. But what I had realized is I had done work before. I had worked with some campaigns, with some trying to get my name out there, and I'm idealistic. And the purpose of the article a year ago was to look at candidates who were idealistic in their approach. And I made it. I have to tell you, though, I received some calls about it, and I had to dig through my recycling to find the article. But it's been special to me. I try not to let media affect me in terms of making a certain pride, but I was proud to be ranked among those in our country that we admire, the new faces, the new people. was really proud of that. I felt good about it, and I like to think I'm not a power player yet, but Montgomery County can help me become one.
Daniel, that is the last word. Thank you so much for being on the show.
I appreciate it.
Daniel
You're really
Vovak.
nice, right? Thank you.
Oh, very good. Daniel Vovak, running for county executive,
Yes.
a Republican, and he will begin in earnest his campaign as soon as he comes back from vacation, right?
Yeah,
You're going on
that's
vacation.
correct. Going on vacation next week to Connecticut.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
That's it for this edition of Municipal Notebook. Remember, if it's Thursday through Sunday nights, it's Municipal Notebook. We'll see you next week. Good night.